everybody? Welcome, everybody. We to the Fantasy Sports Game Show. This is episode 26. Okay, so we are cruising right along halfway through a calendar year. This is a game show about fantasy sports for fantasy sports people. Okay, all the listeners are affiliates. See, we've already got 3 or 4 that popped in there. And as affiliates, you just answered. We want feedback. We want interaction. That is the sports affiliation motto: fun, positivity, and interactive. Okay, so make sure you stay a part of that. I want to give a shout out. Remembering 9/11, man, I remember where I was when that happened. So I just want to give a shout out to everybody affected in New York, at the Pentagon, in Pennsylvania, and the plane crash. And give a shout out to our veterans. We got a couple veterans on the show right now. So I just want to say thank y'all. And we're going to keep it positive, though. We got an emotional game tonight, but we're going to get it on the clock. We'll get to the contestants soon. You see their pretty faces. Let's hop right into the trivia question. 24-1 in this. Let's see if you guys can get me. All right, here we go. 15 seconds for this, and then I'm going to give you a hint every 5 seconds that goes off the clock. All right, timer starts as soon as I finish this question. This Hall of Famer had a Week 1 performance for the ages: 7 catches, 164 yards, and 2 touchdowns.
Jerry Rice.
No, good guess.
Randy Moss.
Randy Moss, right division, or NFC North. He's a Lion.
Chris Carter. Oh, Lion. Calvin Johnson.
Time's up, man. I gave y'all the ultimate hint. Calvin Johnson.
I said it at the end.
Megatron.
Wow. Buzzed on my end first.
I said Megatron.
Check the video. Check the
video.
No,
I said Megatron.
JC, the man behind the glasses. JC, we got a producer with us. I did not hear anything.
Here's the deal. I think you get one guess.
Did you hear me say Megatron?
You get one guess.
I don't know.
Yeah. You watch back. You're going to hear me say Megatron when you go back.
Okay.
Right.
Well, I heard Chris Carter at the buzzer.
You didn't hear Chris Carter.
He was like a Detroit Lion, Chris Carter.
I'm a Lions fan.
I said Chris
Megatron.
Carter, then Calvin Johnson, but the buzzer was off. And I said
Chris Carter, Calvin Johnson. No bonus points. Nobody gets past me, right?
I'm screwed.
That's somewhere.
I'm leaving.
He's only given one
Power of being the
chance.
host, baby. I'm wearing you see me in the zebra shirt. Man, that's the law.
Zebras suck this weekend too.
They always
the game
suck.
might be rigged as well.
Take it easy. We always got to have the third team on the field. Got to have those guys, all right? I don't like them all the time either, but I am one. Let's get to our contestants. We got Evan Bone, so-called Ball Nerd. Please tell everybody a little bit about yourself. Glad to have you back.
There you go. My name's Evan. I'm SoCal Ball Nerd, one of the co-founders with these two guys, JC Money and at IDP Iggy. Love talking fantasy sports. Love being on Twitter. Love connecting with people. You can catch me on the game show occasionally. You can catch me on a betting show every Sunday during football with Iggy and a lot more throughout. So let's go. Ready for some fun. Thanks for having me, Iggy.
Yeah, thanks for coming back. Evan is the only 2-time winner of this show, so glad to have him back. We did clear over 2 units collectively on the Sunday show. I think it was 2.24 we won after it was all said and done. Money in the pocket, baby. Up next, we got Greg Kellogg at Gregory L. Kellogg on the X, formerly known as Twitter. Greg, please tell everybody a little bit about yourself. You are a game show winner as well.
I am on my second show. I would be a 2-time winner, except I got screwed by Saquon Barkley. But it was a double overtime loss. I'm also a Fantasy Sports Writers Hall of Famer from the 2010 class. And you can see me here on the Sports Affiliation every Thursday night, 7 p.m. Eastern time, doing the Thursday check down. But tomorrow night, I'm going to be introducing the newest Sports Affiliation show, and it's a special one. So be sure to tune in at 7 p.m. Eastern tomorrow night. JC and Iggy will give you the link because you're going to like these ladies.
8 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central.
7 p.m. Central. Greg, thank you for that plug. Evan, if you go back to it, you give thumbs up on it. I think you guys can all see me down here. I'll be giving the thumbs up. I might say point when we go full screen. I hope to not interrupt anybody. So Evan giving you 1 point there. Greg giving you 2. 1 for talking about yourself, 1 for plugging the show. I guess maybe a sympathetic Megatron vote, you could say. Okay. Deontay, our legend in the NBA world with the show tomorrow, also a huge basketball guy. Deontay, please tell everybody a little bit about yourself and whatever you would like to say.
Of course. Hi, everyone. So my name is Deontay. I am also a great member of the sports affiliation. You guys can find me on Twitter, formerly known, well, X, formerly known as Twitter. On Tuesdays now, I also do a show with the sports affiliation called Off the Backboard. It's also done by one of our amazing members called Rico Modern World. And yeah, we just talk ball, and it's very entertaining. And as for me, I am a content creator on X, so I tend to create content about a whole lot of sports, including football and basketball, two of my favorite sports. And yeah, so you guys can always tune in and see what I'm about. So I'm very excited to be on here.
Hey, man, I'm glad to have you. One of our best. This is a TSA All-Star lineup. Thanks for being here, Deontay. And he is a Giants fan, thick and thin. He's always there with them on Tuesday, giving you a point for introduction, a point for plugging Off the Backboard, one of our longest running shows, if not our longest running show over at TSA. So make sure you go give that a follow, please. JC, the man behind the glass, is our producer. I tried to sneak it in over the Megatron talk. Anything out there coming from the audience, man? Anything at all what they'd like to say? Remember, the most active affiliate on the comments gets a pack of Panay cards as well as some TSA stickers, plus a couple old Iggy's Fantasy and Betting stickers. But who is it out there, man?
Man, Penne cards. It must be some kind of Italian thing. It's called Panini, homie.
Yeah, I know that. Yeah,
It's all good. Oh, by the way, we got Mace out here and Fish supporting Greg and said that he got that in. So
well, we gave Greg a retro point. So.
Yeah, but you got to take the loss in your countdown from now on.
Mace,
kind of like the Des Bryant. Was it a catch? Was it not a catch? Who will know? Who will know? Ragatoni, bro. Can I give a couple points for the audience there? Thank y'all for joining. Hey, we'll try to get them in on Twitter. We're on here on YouTube, so if you're watching on Twitter right now, head over to the YouTube, subscribe, and like this show for us. It's one of our favorites. It's a lot of fun because you get to hear experts like this give their opinion. All right, speaking of your opinion, what is the best thing you saw Sunday? And I'm changing it up. I don't think 30 seconds is quite enough time, so I'm giving everybody an extra 6 seconds. 6 times 6 is 36. So there we go. 36 seconds on the clock. Up first, is Evan. The best thing you saw this Sunday and why? And it starts now.
Best thing I saw. Give me the Miami Dolphins in the Charger game. First off, we had 70 points total in that game. We had Tua coming out with 466 yards, 3 touchdowns. Tyreek, 11 catches, 215 yards, and 2 tutties. Tua threw the ball to 7 different receivers, did not have Armstead, the right tackle, still put in work. And, of course, my Chargers, like we always know, blew it in the fourth quarter, right where they picked up after their 27-0 playoff collapse to choke another game away in the fourth quarter. Brandon Staley on the hot seat to start week 1. But, my goodness, what a game.
At the buzzer. How about that? I'm going to give you 3 points there. I love it. That is a great explanation. Had the stats ready, was able to talk about your Chargers and still be able to, accept the fact that it was a good game. Greg, on the clock, and it starts right now.
There's so many great things on Sunday. Doris Day was in a movie, and that woman was a looker in her heyday. What a hottie. But football-wise, Christian McCaffrey broke a long TD run. Perfect spin move, perfect using of his blockers. But for me, the best thing about that run was Brandon Ayuk pancaking a DB on the way down and didn't break stride doing it. Outstanding play by Ayuk. Forget the catches. He was a blocker that day.
Hey, man, I love that, Greg. That is football 101, huh? Getting out there in the open, smashing down an opponent as they get going. I got to give you 3 points. Actually, I got to give you 4 on that one, Greg. That was just so good. I wasn't prepared for that. So that puts you at 7 points right now. Command and lead. Deontay, up next. Best thing you saw this weekend can't be the same thing that they saw. Can be something totally different. You're on the clock, and it starts right now.
I think the best thing that I've seen on Sunday was My goodness, Jordan Love's performance against the Bears. I mean, this dude had 245 yards and 3 touchdowns. He basically put the Packers on his back. And I really, in going into the season, there were a lot of questions about Jordan Love and this Green Bay offense. If I'm a Green Bay Packer fan, I wouldn't be too worried about Jordan Love. I think Jordan Love is here to stay, and I know it's only week one, but I think he has a lot of promise.
All right, man. Speaking to my heart there a little bit before the buzzer. It is only week one, but he did go out there and perform well. They were underdogs in that game, Deontay. They came out and performed well. They come out and put some silencers to that. I got to give you 4 points on that as well, sir. So that leaves you tied back up with Greg. Do we have anything from the audience right now?
Well, first off, I want to say, D, that's a good, smart move right there. Going at the heart of Iggy, getting some extra points there. Smart moves. So way to play the game smart. But Mace out here saying either Brock Purdy altogether gameplay or Quay Walker's pick six that run after catch was magical. Look at tugging at the strings of our host again.
Oh yeah, 4 points on that.
Steven, he's out here saying stay away from Purdy. He's like, as a Steelers fan, ETN, he said ETN had a better block.
ETN did have a good block as well. I did like that. Give me one more point. Tied up as well. So 4-7-7 across the board. I don't know what the best thing I saw probably was Jordan Love. I was really happy about that. That IU block was something. Offensive game was pretty nice. But there was a lot of good defense out there. Quay Walker's pick six, was on Thursday night, but we had a rookie Detroit Lion take a pick six back to the house. A lot of good sacks. Myles Garrett throwing down Joe Burrow, putting an exclamation point on that game, saying, "Not today, Bengals. We are better than you." I thought that was great as well. So all great answers out there. I do love it. Coming up next, we got the second question, a little more personable here. All right. Your highest scoring fantasy player this weekend. Who was it and why? Greg, we'll go Greg, Deontay, and then Evan. So, Greg, you're on the clock, and it starts right now.
Hey, I'm going to pander now. It's in your league, Iggy. I had two on my bench for Josh Allen, potentially a bad move, but fortunately, I targeted the Atlanta Falcons as my team defense. They scored 31.16 points, so I'm probably winning in your league. Unfortunately, I had them in my personal league, and my opponent had the Cowboys. Outscored 72.3 to 32.6.
Man, that's a tough one. I did get outscored by the Cowboys, but hey, you got to love those Falcons there, Greg. Plenty of time to go on the buzzard, so I'll stop it right there. Yeah, that's a great performance. I have the Falcons winning the South. I think, we expected them to play good against a rookie, but they went out there and delivered as well. So I love it. Gave you 2 points there, put you at 9. All right, Deontay, you're on the clock, and it starts right now, sir.
All right. So in one of my leagues that I'm leading by 18 points, my highest scoring player was Aaron Jones with 26.7 points. I mean, the man had 9 carries for 41 yards and a touchdown, and he also had 2 catches for 86 yards and a touchdown. So, I mean, this dude is absolutely incredible, which is why I have him stashed as a running back 1, running back 2 type of hybrid. And I think he's going to very help out Jordan Love in the long term. And in that league, I'm leading 148.32 to 130.48 in that league. So
do they have anybody in tonight? Do they have anybody in tonight against you?
No, neither do I. So I basically won.
All right, giving you 1 more point right there for the dub, bro. Way to go. New leader right now. Deontay's got 10. Evan, you got some work to do, man. You only got 4. What's the best thing you had this weekend from your fantasy team? Let me know about it.
Let me piggyback off those Falcons and go with Jesse Bates, the man from the Cincinnati Bengals, right? 36-plus points for an IDP position, 10 tackles, a forced fumble, 2 interceptions. Bengals got rid of him. He hadn't played up to par really the last 2 years. Falcons brought him in, gave him a little money. He delivered week 1, stepped up for that leading defense. Got to give it to him. I also had the Cowboys in another league, so as a team, they did deliver as well.
Love it. A little bit of time left on the buzzer to go as well with that. Thank you so much, Evan, for that answer. And see if I can stop the buzzer. Gave you 4 points on that one. Didn't stop the buzzer. That's okay. We're walking back to the corner before. Got 4 points on that one. I felt like you answered that question better than anybody. Came prepared with the stats. Jesse Bates, DB. I felt like there were some questions around what he would be bringing to Atlanta. I think Atlanta has quietly the best defense in the NFC South. So watch out for that. I thought that's a great answer. That puts you at 8, only 1 behind Greg and 2 behind Deontay. What about the audience? What do we got over there, producer?
All right, Steven, he said, how about Puka? Who would have thought? Dude, he came out and had a beast game. And I'm talking to you, a lot of people out there were saying sit Puka. I actually had a friend out there was talking about, Gina, she was talking about should I start JSN or should I start Puka? And everyone was talking crap and saying how much they shouldn't start. This is an absolute trash question and blah, blah, blah. It's like, I don't know if it's a trash question. You think about it, JSN, he's been injured a little bit. He's going to be a third guy. I mean, obviously we saw Lockett get banged up, but Puka goes out and puts up a big game. And who would have thought he outscored JSN by almost 20-something points. So
I love it. Giving the audience 3 points there, tied up with Deontay for first. Let's move into the third question. Hey, I know we've had fun talking about Sunday and Thursday for Greg's Lions. Threw up the Megatron answer. Nobody got it, not even the lifelong Lions fan. But let's talk about Monday. Let's talk about Monday. We got a great AFC East matchup. Deontay, kind of close to your area. This is, you're a Giants fan, but there's a lot of New England teams in this AFC East. Got the Jets, the Patriots, and the Bills. Not quite New England, but up there in the New York Nets of the stretch of the world over there. Who do we have winning this game tonight? I think it's a great Monday night game to kick off. I'm super pumped about it. So let's start with who you have winning, Deontay, and the why. 36 seconds on the clock, sir, and it starts right now.
All right. So the team that I have winning for tonight is the Buffalo Bills, and it's all depending on one single man, Josh Allen. I mean, Josh Allen always does good in week 1 scenarios. And then, take a look at what happened last year against the Super Bowl defending champs, the Rams. I mean, he basically just ran like crazy and threw to his main man, Stephon Diggs, and so that's what's going to happen here tonight. I mean, I know that the Jets have a top 5, top 10 defense, but I have a feeling that Allen's going to slice through that with no issue at all.
Man, loving it. Coming in at the buzzer, getting a couple jabs right there in round 3 before you go back. Josh Allen, how can you not argue that, man? You were at 10 points. I'm going to give you 3 right there, Deontay. I gave you the why. I'm a little doubtful on the Bills, but I think you supported it with great answers. All right, Evan, you're on the clock. What do you think, sir?
I'm a little doubtful on both these teams season long, but I got to pick one. So I'm going to go with the Bills. I think the Jets right now, they still haven't shown an offensive line that I think can deliver all game long. I think the Bills have enough to get to Rodgers. Hall is questionable, probably not going to play as much. Cook has not been there long. Rodgers needs a line. We saw how good Green Bay's is. Buffalo added Kincaid. That gives them a little more help offensively. I think it's low scoring and tough. I think Buffalo has the edge, though, at home. So I got to give Buffalo in a tight game, probably 24-20.
Love it. Giving us a score as well right there at the end, Evan. A little bit of time before the buzzer, too. I'm going to give you 3 points as well. Taking the Bills in this one, no problem with that. Just not trusting the Jets, it sounds like, and trusting the Bills to control the clock. Greg, you're going to be on the clock here real soon, sir. Who's winning Monday Night Football? And the why? It starts right now.
TSA's got it down. I'm sorry. The Buffalo Bills are going to win. I disagree. It's not going to be that close because Josh Allen and I need James Cook to score 50 so I can win in one more league. So James Cook's going to go off. I think Buffalo scores 30 points in this game. I think they have trouble. I think the Jets have trouble. I don't think they're as good as they're advertised. And I don't think anybody wants to go down a game to Miami Dolphins right now.
You're on mute, brother.
I wasn't on mute. I didn't do anything.
I was on mute. There's the buzz. You may have not caught it. We'll just sound it again for Greg. Right there, 36 seconds. I like it, man. You are all on the Bills. You are all on the team that was better last year. I think that's something to look forward to. I think if somebody would have brought the counterpoint to me that Aaron Rodgers has had his first preseason since JC, like 2019, 2018, something like that. So his first preseason of the decade. He's already had 2 MVPs this decade. So I think that the Jets are going to be fired up. I think they're going to run the ball. But all of you said the Bills. I think that's an interesting point. Great answers, though. I love all the reasoning on the why. That's why this show is set up the way it is, because the why is important. We could all just list off our answers. I love y'all's description. I'm actually going to give you each one more point on that one just to bring up the points. That means Deontay's still got a 2-point lead over Greg and Evan, sitting at 14, Greg and Evan at 12. Let's look at the audience, Mr. Producer. Any answers? I saw a man, Steven, another veteran. Thank you, sir. I saw he put a tie game. What else?
He's actually active duty. He's over there right now. So
yeah, he's active duty. Excuse me. Not
shit. But yeah, so we might as well go with this. You know, both the hosts here, host and co-host, are on the Jets side, and Mace is also on the Jets. He said defense wins this game tonight. Their defensive front and Rodgers' ability to respond to adversity will be the difference. Steven out here saying it's going to be a tie game. Write it down. Tie game. So if you go that, we got what's that 3 for 3 and then a tie, so we can't even have a tiebreaker. What the heck?
Oh my gosh, yeah. Hey, well, that's a true split then. I would say that sets up for a good Monday night football game. Greg, we can look at it in retrospect. They might win it. I just don't see a blowout in this game. I think the weather's still supposed to be a little nasty over there. I expect good defense, which is what I love. Matt Milano, let's take a look at him. He got paid to be the man over there. So we'll revisit that after tonight's game. All right, so going into the fourth quarter finale, that is the name of this next segment. About 10 minutes left here. You must pick different answers, okay? That's the only rule going up. Leading point scorer goes first, so we will go Deontay, then Evan, then Greg, just because Evan's got the tiebreaker with 2 wins, Greg. You are the second closest there. This is based off of half-point PPR, redraft, no keepers, no scenarios like that. 12 teams, so think about how thin, about how many people are out there on a 12 team with the rosters. 100-point bonus for yards and receptions, okay? I'm going to move this up to 40 seconds because I really do like y'all are really hammering these explanations tonight. Let's get a little bit more time on it, okay? This is brought to you, by the Sports Affiliation and Better Vision, a proud sponsor of the show. Please go check out Better Vision. You can look at all your bets, all your fantasy teams. If you're like me and you got 12 fantasy teams on 3 different apps, guess what? You just look at them. You can look at all the score right there. You can see the producer holding them up. We're glad to have them with us. This segment is brought to you by Better Vision. All right. Who was the week 1 best IDP performance? I made you guys do some homework. For the audience out there that may not be familiar with that term, that stands for individual defensive players, something we're big fans of over here at the Sports Affiliation. So, Deontay, you're going to be on the spot. Who was the best defensive performance you saw this weekend? And remember, I want the why, sir. And it starts right now.
Oh, this is a good question, but I know I'm a bit of a homer, and the situation with my team, but I would have to give it up to Michael Parsons. Michael Parsons was just an animal last night. The way that he just broke through the line and the way that he just simply just breaks through and just has I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, I believe he has the most pressures on that line, and you can line him up from anywhere, from defensive line to linebacker. And so the way that he's just able to just maneuver like that is just absolutely incredible. So hands down, in my eyes, I got to give it to Micah.
All right, cutting people off at the buzzard here. I did forget to mention, you get double the points right now. So, Deontay, you actually got 4 thumbs up, which means you got 8 points on that one. Well done. Hey, went against his heart, had to speak the truth. That's what great analysts do, okay? Greg warned us about that many months ago. You got to speak with the truth, not your heart. Great answer, Deontay. I do love it. So up next, Evan, you're on the clock. Anybody but Michael Parsons. The floor is yours right now.
All right. I mean, I know there's some popular answers probably, but give me the Colts to Forrest Buckner. Okay. The guy, I think people doubted him going into the season. I don't think he was projected to have a very good week. Obviously, the Colts were going to get their butts kicked, everyone said. He played great. 7 tackles, found a way to get in there and get a sack, had a forced fumble. But the big play for him and the Colts was not quitting when the ball was not dead and it knocking loose, and Buckner running up, picking it up, and taking it 50 yards to the house for a defensive tutty. Not only did he not quit, he found a way to get in the end zone. I think he made a statement. I think that Colts defense is better than people believe. They're not a great team, but he still can play.
All right, Evan, at the buzzard. I love it. I'm going to give you one more thumbs up at the end. I'm going to give you 2 points. That was an outstanding answer. Career defensive tackle, made a touchdown, made the tackles, got the fumble recovery, heads up play. You get heads up points for that. And that moved you tied with Deontay. You are both at 22. Greg right now at 12. Remember, you got double points, Greg. So lay it on me. What was the best thing you saw what was the best IDP performance you saw from this weekend so far. All right, timeout, Greg. We lost you. We need you to reconnect your microphone. I can't hear you. I paused it. We'll get it going back.
Can you hear me?
All right, 40 seconds. I can hear you. Starting now.
I thought it was for next week, so I went with Zaire Franklin because he had 18 tackles and forced fumble this week. But since it's for last week, I'm going to go with my boy Brian Branch. Rookie DB, runs it back for a touchdown, got some tackles. He was all over the field. The kid can play, and I love him.
I love it. You got time to spare there, so that is awesome. And yeah, I did. I think when I sent you the script, it said week 2. So I'm going to give you one more point on that, Greg, because you did answer who you thought would be Zaire Franklin. They said they've already drug tested him because his performance was so amazing. Of course, he came out ahead on that. So gave you the extra point there, Greg. You were all 3 tied up. Excellent answer with your guy from Detroit on the spot. I love that a lot. What do we got from the audience? Any IDP performances? I know if Mason's still there, surely he's got one.
He didn't jump in here and say anything, but I'm gonna say TJ Watt. TJ Watt was somebody that I thought was an absolutely beast. We can even jump in here for Steven. He's a Steelers fan, so TJ Watt had 3 sacks, 2 forced fumbled, 1 fumble recovery, 5 total tackles, 5 solo tackles, 5 QB hits. So every single one of those tackles was a QB hit, and that's pretty ridiculous. He's an absolute monster. I'm stoked to see him, and I paid up for him, in auction league. I'm actually very happy about it. So just seeing him come back and actually, now being an absolute stud again, I'm excited. He's actually, one of the only IDP players when he's healthy. He outscores all the rest of them by almost 50 points. It's crazy.
I know. He is an IDP legend. You got to love it. He's back to his 2021 form. Let's see if he keeps it up, man. Gave the audience a couple points. Producer
Josh Allen was one. Josh Allen, premier play breakout game.
Yeah. He finally – I've always kind of been higher on Josh Allen. Of course, we're talking about Jacksonville Josh Allen, everybody. But I think he had 9 tackles and a sack or something like that. He had by far a great game against those Colts. I do love it. All right, question 2. Tied up. Remember that. So it's pretty important right here. We got Dalvin Cook, James Cook, and Breece Hall. Who has a better fantasy performance? Evan, you're up first. Greg, and then Deontay. We just keep the order rolling. All right, 40 seconds. It starts right now, Evan.
I'm going to take Dalvin Cook. I think that he's going to be the lead back tonight for the Jets. Breece Hall, like I said, is not quite ready to go. I think that with that offensive line maybe having some issues, I think Rodgers will look to dump it off to Cook, who's a guy that can get you 5-6 catches anytime you need it. He can be used in that, and he can be used in the run game. So I think they're going to want to do that to open it up to get the ball down the field to Wilson, right? So I got to go with Dalvin Cook in this matchup. That's my guy.
Love it. 10 seconds to spare. Going to go ahead and start the clock. I do love that, man. Dalvin Cook, I'm big on him too. Gave you the 4 thumbs up. So you're sitting right now at 26 as the leader. So you guys are 4 points behind. Greg, you're on the clock, and it starts right now.
I got to thank Evan. I'm going with James Cook, the little brother. The kid is definitely not washed up like his big brother is. There's a reason his big brother's not in Minnesota anymore. His little brother's going to be playing as a starter for the first time. He's a great receiver, and he's the most explosive player out there. I expect him to put up double Delvin's numbers this game.
Oh, Greg coming out bold, but sticking with his theme of the Buffalo Bills.
Not a James Cook fan.
So, Greg, hey, you know what? I'm giving you the slight edge there, giving you the 4 points and then one more the half at the end. This is the half a point. That gives you the slight edge right now, looking at 27-26. Hey, Deontay, that means they left you Breece Hall, man. A lot of Breece Hall truthers out there going higher in ADP than both of these guys. Why is he going to have a good week 1? And it starts right now.
I do think that Breece Hall will come back stronger than ever from his injury. I mean, you have to understand that he was pretty much the lead back, way before Dalvin was there. And when he went down, there was really no rushing attack, right? And so I'm hoping that he comes back and he will be the starting back, and he'll be able to just be able to generate some points behind that line. I understand that the line is a little iffy, but he did it before last year. What makes you think that he's not going to do it again, especially in this game? So that's just kind of my opinion.
Well, they're getting it in. One more at the jab saying, hey, he's already done it with this line. Got to give you the one more there. And that's going to put you tied with Evan for 26. Greg got a slight lead at 27. Any comments coming in from the audience right now, Mr. JC?
Yeah, we got Mace saying Dalvin, he's a mercenary. He's on a mercenary deal and gives Hall time to truly get back to the speed recovery. Steven says Damian Harris 2 touchdowns. And I gotta say, thumbs down to that Dalvin Cook comment. I don't think that he's washed up. I think that he's just fine. Minnesota could not afford him. When he is playing, he's probably one of the best backs in the NFL. So him, you gotta think about this. You got 2 old school NFC North guys now together out west or out east, and they got something to pay. Dalvin Cook didn't have a Super Bowl. He's trying to get one. And Aaron took that deal to get some more players in there with him, and he's trying to win another Super Bowl. So I think that tonight could be kind of a lot of fun, and I think that Dalvin's going to run hard if they let him. That's $8 million for 1 year. They're going to run his ass into the ground.
Yeah, they paid him to be the man. I think Breece Hall. What we're forgetting, I was waiting to see if Deontay would say it. Is Breece Hall had a surgery, but Dalvin Cook had surgery on his shoulder as well. And Breece Hall's actually been getting a lot more practice reps here lately. So I don't know. I'm leaning Dalvin Cook. I got James Cook and Dalvin Cook scoring touchdowns, though. So I can't hate on any of it. I think it's good. I didn't send you guys the third question. It's always a mystery. I don't have a list of players in front of me, but I want you to think about all the bad QB performances we had in week 1. Geno Smith, poor Daniel Jones, Deontay, Joe Burrow, Dak Prescott. I mean, the list goes on. Justin Fields. I mean, Pickett. I mean, there's some right there, okay? Which quarterback has the biggest week 2 fantasy jump in points out of all those bad quarterbacks? Or if you think Jordan Love can score 50, I'm all for hearing that too. But which quarterback do you think has the biggest jump? Greg, this is going to start with you. Then we go to Deontay. Then we go to Evan. Remember, Greg has a 1-point advantage right here. So this is kind of for all the marbles, as I say, Greg. It's on you, and it starts right now.
Well, the easiest answer is Desmond Ridder because he sucked so bad. And because I need to have him do well so I can beat JC out of a lunch. I mean, so Desmond Ritter's my boy. He's got to have a good one. And there's no way Drake London is going catchless again.
Man, yeah, expound on that, Greg. What do you think was it the game plan? Was it just like missed opportunities? Why did he have such a bad week?
I don't know that he got the targets. They were throwing to Bijan all night. And if you think about it, Algiers got the 2 rushing touchdowns. Yeah. So, that offense, nobody can figure him out.
Yeah, Bijan, I think, didn't drop a single catch. He was perfect on his receptions. But Desmond Ridder, Greg, going to give you 2.5 right there, giving you one more. So that gives you a 4-point edge in the last question. So up next, Deontay, who do you think quarterback is going to bounce back and have a great week 2? It starts now.
I might be a homer. Well, I am a homer, and I'm going to say Daniel Jones. The reason why I say this is because he's going up against the 32nd ranked defense in the NFL, and pretty much he can basically just run his way. He can pretty much just run his way as we've seen at some parts during the Dallas game. And the fact that he has a whole plethora of weapons, including Jalen Hyatt and Darren Waller, not to mention Saquon Barkley behind that backfield too. So I feel like his week 1 performance doesn't really So
yeah, I got you. Actually giving you one more half point there, and you're edging out Greg for the lead. So it's going to come down to Evan right here. I thought it was a homer one. I didn't expect Daniel Jones. I didn't know they were playing the 32nd ranked defense next week either. Got to expect a big bounce back game there. Evan, it's on the clock, my friend. Why? This is for the match. Who's it going to be?
I'm going to have to go with Jalen Hurts. You didn't mention him, but he also, for a guy for where he went, did not have a good week 1. They found a way to get the win. They are playing those Minnesota Vikings who got exposed by Daniel Jones and those Giants last year in the playoffs. Hurts is due for a big game with A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, Goddard, that offense that we thought we would see last week. New England's a decent defense. They couldn't quite get it done. Minnesota will not. Ridder will not do it against the Packers defense for sure. And Daniel Jones, I think Barkley will just run all over him. So give me Jalen Hurts to be who he was last year this week.
All right, with time to spare, I think that's a great answer, and I think I gotta give you one more half a point there. I can't sit here and dog the Vikings secondary and not give you the nod there. JC and I always on them. Guess what that means? Sorry, Greg, you didn't make the overtime, but we have another OT. I got a question on the spot, JC. We'll get back to the questions, the comments right after this on who they expect to have a bounce back. Super surprised nobody took Joe Burrow. 10 seconds on the clock. Deontay, I'm going to give you the reason. Who's going to have a better game tonight? Are we going to take Garrett Wilson? Are we taking Stephon Diggs? 10 seconds. I will cut you off as soon as it hits. It's on you, and it starts right now, Deontay.
Stephon Diggs, because he is one of the most experienced route runners in the league, and I know Gardner is a very talented corner, but I have Diggs taking.
All right, he took Stephon Diggs there, Evan. Means you got to take Wilson. Why is he going to get it? And it starts now.
I mean, DJ Reed and Gardner Wilson are Gardner and money. They locked up Diggs last year. He struggled in both games against the Jets. Wilson is the guy. We saw him and Rodgers connect. He's a stud. Give me
all right, the stud. I think I got to. This is pretty tough because I honestly don't know who's going to do the better night. I think they both could have awful nights. I think they could both have a touchdown. So, with that being said, let's look at the audience real quick. I'll formulate my decision. JC, what do we have out there?
Mace said Kirk Cousins is somebody that has to step up, but I have to disagree. I know that he stepped up or he sucked in real football, but if we were talking about fantasy, he's actually only 0.1 off of what his projection was, so I wouldn't call that bad. I would say that he was just right around average.
He's good to hate.
Hurts, he said Hurts also has to step it up. Pickett's somebody that needs to step it up. Is what Steven said. He plays against Cleveland next week. Mace is out here saying Wilson A-Rod is going to be the target for him, or going to target him 12 times. And Fantasy Fish is also saying Wilson because of Sauce. I also think Garrett Wilson. We already know that I think Diggs is the diva. And you want to know a really fun Ritter stat that I saw? It was crazy. You had to be watching the game to see it. At one point, I was looking at the stats, and when I looked at it, he had five for 6 attempts, right? He went 5 for 6 on attempts, 0 passing yards, 1 touchdown, and a catch for -6 yards. That was his stats at one point. That is ridiculously crazy. He must have learned that from Mariota, catching the ball from himself.
I mean, all I know is he is a good answer to improve. I'm just not sure he's going to. That was a lot with Carolina. That's where I'm at.
He is on pace for less than 2,000 yards, Greg. Just to let you know, he is on pace for less than 2,000 yards passing right now.
You didn't tell me if you would double down on the Joe Burrow one, though, did you?
Yeah.
Hey, before we get to that debate, let's crown today's winner. Got to edge it to Dante right here. Better.
Oh, man.
I do think the Bills are going to play with the negative game script. I predict the Jets to win. I predict them to be ahead in the fourth quarter. So, Deontay, the floor is yours, sir. You're the winner. You can talk about anything you'd like. It's yours.
Honestly, I feel like this Monday night game is going to be – I think it's going to be awesome. You know, we have two different dynamics. You know, you have the Jets who have basically been resurging for the last couple of months. And then you have the Buffalo Bills who are trying to find an identity after, you know, they were dismissed from the divisional round by the Bengals. So I think it's real interesting to see these two different dynamics clash on Monday Night Football. So anything is possible and anything can happen. So may the better team win. May the better team win.
Well, congratulations on your win against the Legends. I would say these are the top two performers on the Fantasy Sports Game Show, along with you, Deontay. So you knocked them out. That's quite an honor. All right. Evan, anything you'd like to say? We're going to wrap this up in about 2 or 3 minutes. Floor is yours, though. Anything you'd like to say, sir?
Congrats, D. Add me to that snub list, Greg. I feel like that was a win for me, but that's all right. You know what? I need 33 points from Garrett Wilson tonight in one league. I need Diggs to also just kind of have a good game and make sure that I'm up 9 in a different league. The other guy has Dalvin Cook. So I got a little bit of everybody we talked about. So I don't really want Cook to have that big of a night. I need Diggs to be Diggs. I need Wilson to give me about 10 for $120, 2 tutties. Greg, D, appreciate the fun. Iggy, thank you. JC, thank you. Everybody listening. Always fun, man. Had a great time.
All right, Greg, anything you'd like to say? Thank you, Evan.
I just think this shows what kind of crew TSA has. Anybody that watches this show knows that everybody had good answers for everything, except I got ripped off. Even the audience caught me saying Megatron. Last time I was on the show, you gave 5 points for the mystery question.
Yeah,
I should have got 5 points for the mystery question.
I think I gave you 1. So we we drew the line there. It's kind of like
twice I've been screwed. Twice.
When you get a
10-yard
penalty, we walked off 9 instead of 10 for you there. Okay, Greg, no big deal. JC, I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up because we do have the watch along party. We're going to be working out in commercials. We're going to be talking it right here on the TSA, right here on this YouTube. Come back in, put the comments in. Maybe we'll send you the link. If you're commenting a lot, you can be on the screens with us. We're watching this amazing game, okay? This game is going to be fun to watch. I'm already sweating just as the host here. I'm going to be definitely sweating whenever we get the workout going. Make sure you follow all 3 of these amazing sports analysts, guys. This is some of the best of TSA, which means they're some of the best out there, like Greg said, okay? Mace, think you won the cards. I'm going to send you a pack of cards whether you want them or not. You were very active out there. I really appreciate it. Follow these guys at SoCal Ball Nerd. That's SOCAL, Ball Nerd, all one word. Gregory L. Kellogg. That's GREGORYL, and then KELLOGG. And then, of course, the winner today, Mr. Deontay Adams. He has that DANTEADAMS01. Please go follow the sports affiliation at the sports affiliate. Like this show, subscribe to the show. Remember, tomorrow we got the brand new Catch the Game Changers at 8 p.m. Eastern making their debut show. You don't want to miss out with Greg on that. And then back during that, we got our NBA talk, off the backboard FIBA talk, opening day right around the corner right there with Deontay and our man Rico. All right.
Mace, Iggy, and JC are also part of the Thursday show.
We are part of the Thursday show. I'll be producing this week. JC will be answering. It's a lot of fun. We got the Sunday. Schedule will be up, plug soon. Thank you guys for joining us. Your time is precious. We really appreciate you sharing it with us from the bottom of our heart. We really do. You remember, as always, bet smart, be lucky, and play fantasy football with IDP. JETS, Jets. Let's go.
Bills!